Just before the video starts, I just want to say a massive thank you to everybody that has liked and subscribed over the past couple of weeks. We are almost at 50 subs, which is absolutely mind-blowing. I was at 10 a couple of weeks ago, and now that we are almost at 50, it is insane. So thank you guys so much. Really grateful for all of it. I really hope that you guys continue to enjoy the content, and if you do have any suggestions or any feedback, please be sure to leave a comment down below and let me know what I could do better or what I shouldn't do. And yeah, just really appreciate all the feedback. Thank you so much. Peace. Just going to hop in here quickly just to say how this build is going to be played. It absolutely pains me to do this, but this is probably the best way to do it. I'm going to be migrating everything out, and then I'm going to be fresh starting in SSF so that it is a 100% fresh run. No gear, no influence, no temptations, and we shall see how it goes. Hopefully I don't regret it. But yep, on to the video. Hey guys, and welcome back to the SSF journey. I hope you're hungry, because I've been cooking. To be honest with you, I don't even know if the stove was on. I don't even know if the food is burnt. But we shall see. We'll figure it out together. We'll try it, and we'll see what happens. I have been cooking up an SRS Paladin. Just kind of really want to play Paladin, really want to play SRS, so I figured why not. And yeah, this is the PoB that I've cooked up. So this is currently a level 95 PoB. It is obviously very subject to change as we level it up. This is just the baseline. If I get really unlucky with gear and just have a very bad start, then this is what the tree will end up looking like at level 95, hopefully. But in terms of leveling the build, there is two ways to level the build. So one, you could just go straight away with SRS, level up a witch to level 4, finish the breaking eggs quest, go into town and grab SRS, throw it onto your duelist as soon as possible. And then in terms of links for that, you would want summon raging spirits with minion damage and then melee splash. And that should be pretty good for leveling until you can get to level 38 and grab your unleash. If you do manage to find a 4 link before then, you can put in minion speed, which is just a fantastic extra bunch of attack speed and movement speed for your minions, and it just helps it to feel even smoother while leveling. In terms of leveling as SRS, the plan is to get up to the minion nodes as soon as possible so the build doesn't feel terrible. It is just a level 38 tree, which is when you get unleash, and then from there I will update the PoB and add in more. This is just so if anybody does wish to try out the build, they can go with that. And then if you want to try and go crazy and go solo, then you can go to the endgame version of the tree. Yeah, endgame, you do want to spec into these for extra life, endurance charges, extra armor, and life. These nodes here don't really do much, but just in terms of leveling the build, they are very important because it saves a lot of traveling to get to the minion nodes. And then the other way of leveling is honestly probably the better way to level, which will be with 2-hand axes and going slams. I have personally done this myself. It feels really good up until level 38, and then you can swap into SRS. In terms of skills, I've got all of these set out for you guys, so there's no thinking involved. It's just a case of point and click and put it on, and then you are good to go, and it should be very smooth all the way up. In terms of bandits, you want to help Alira early and kill all later on once you have your resistances all sorted out. Pantheons, Brine King for freeze immune, and Soul of Tukohama for the physical damage reduction when standing still. Another thing that I do want to say, Unwavering stance is something that I am most likely going to click very early on, just because we don't really focus on evasion rating and we more so go for physical damage reduction, just because the easiest way of investing, especially on a very low budget. With a higher budget, you can spec into things like Mage Bane and trying to get your suppression capped, which will probably be the endgame version of the build, and that should be pretty much immortal, hopefully pushing out some good damage with a whole bunch of different changes. As for your endgame setup, I've put in all the links that you could need and could ever want. In terms of Animate Guardian, that is normally very difficult to set up early on in a league, because I'm going to be playing the group found as SSF. The Animate Guardian probably won't be online until very later on, and that will probably end up being dropped. I'll probably end up putting in Convocation just so that I can get my raised Specters to me sooner. As for the Specters, I'll probably be running the Frenzy Monkeys early on, just until we can get some ritual chants going and you can actually get some good Specters from that, and to see how the Specters actually feel. Not sure how much we need to spec into Specters to keep them alive, so it might not be the best idea to go Specters, but there's only one way to find out, really. And then Enduring Cry is the best option here in terms of defense. Because of our Ascendancy endgame, we have infinite power on our War Cries, which means we will get all of our endurance charges every time we War Cry, and we spec into quite a few of them on the tree. In terms of our offering, I'm going to run Flesh Offering, Desecrate, and Elemental Weakness in our weapon on a trigger setup, so that we don't have to worry about any of that during boss fights, and it just makes life super smooth and super easy. Going over the last few gems, I'm going to have Temper Shield for more block chance, Haste, and Determination. These two are just very good auras. And then obviously from our Ascendancy, we're getting Summon Elemental Relic, which is insane. It is Wrath, it is Anger, it is Hatred, and it's great. So 3 free auras for the price of an Ascendancy. Awesome. In terms of your Ascendancies, you'll be going for Lighter Divinity first into your Elemental Relics, which will be a huge boost of damage early on and will feel absolutely amazing for leveling. Third, we grab Bring the Battle, which is War Cries have infinite power, which allow us to get a lot of endurance charges really quickly. And then as for your Uber Lab, there is a choice to be made between Anointed Champion, Field Medicine, and then getting a level 30 Determination. So I'm going to play around with all 3 of these options and then report back as to which one I think is best. And then in terms of Anoints, you can take Death Attunement for the +1 Specters. Once we get some rituals going and we found some good Specters to be running, I'm sure the +1 Specter will be fantastic. In terms of items, got a very basic setup. You could easily get a better wand with just a simple essence. And as for the rest of the gear, super basic, +1 minion helmet, should be able to get that pretty simple early on. The rest of the gear is just life, resistances, movement speed on boots, and dexterity wherever we can. And then for your rings, you can either run 2 bone rings for extra minion resistances, or you can go for an amethyst ring for extra chaos damage. On the bone ring, obviously you can get things like increased minion damage and increased minion attack and cast speed. And then belt, best case is Darkness Enthroned. Should be pretty easy to farm one out yourself. If not, just use a rare belt with life, resistances, and it should be, okay until you found one. Ghastly Ardules, in your belt you would want to have things like percentage increased damage, flat damage, life, all the good minion nodes. I've just gone really conservative with them just because I don't want to inflate the PoB numbers and say, here's a 20 million damage build and then none of the gear is obtainable. So just want to go very conservative. As for the Ghastly Ardules that are in the actual sockets on the tree, those are way, way worse. So that is just life and absolutely nothing on them in terms of added damage. Fire damage might not even be the best, added lightning might be better, so it just depends. We just have to play and see. And yeah, just want to get as many Ghastly Ardules as possible, and then get a medium cluster jewel with Blessed Rebirth. That is the only node we really care about. Everything else is okay. Blessed Rebirth is fantastic because it gives you minions created recently, cannot be damaged, which is fantastic for SRS. It allows us to actually have some damage uptime on them and not let them just die every 5 seconds. I have picked Renewal just because the 5% chance to deal double damage while they're on full life applies when the Blessed Rebirth is active, because they cannot be damaged. They are always at full life, well, recently, which is 4 seconds. So they have 5% chance to deal double damage, and then if you add that to Grave Pact, then that's an 11% chance for them to deal double damage, which is just extra free damage, and that's fantastic. And then yeah, that's pretty much it for the tree. It's pretty much it for the gear. I will be updating this PoB as I play through the character and sharing my thoughts and feedback on it. But yeah, I really hope that you guys have enjoyed this brief little overview. Sorry that there is no gameplay of it. I'm going to start leveling this build and giving it a good old try. Thank you all so much for watching. Please be sure to leave a like and subscribe. It helps me out so much, and I'm so grateful for all of it. Thank you very much for watching. Keep well, have a great weekend, and peace.